Hello, my name is Anya Tamirano. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Empowering Teachers Worldwide. In the first video of this series, Assessment for Learning, the Road to Improvement, we looked at what formative assessment is, why it is beneficial to students, and we also explored the 10 principles of assessment for learning as set by the Assessment Reform Group. And we also established the place it has in our lesson. Now, in this second video, we are going to have a look at what elements constitute assessment for learning, and we are going to look at two of them in some depth. Now, the main elements of assessment for learning are learning intentions, success criteria, peer and self-assessment, formative feedback, and effective questioning. Now, learning intentions inform pupils about what they are going to learn and why. Success criteria are the steps or the key ingredients that are pertinent to the new learning. And pupils and teachers negotiate these before the learning begins, and it is only these items that the pupils are measured against. Then we have a peer and self-assessment that consider not only what pupils and their peers have learned, but also how they learn best. Then we have formative feedback that provides students with information on the successful areas of their learning performance, as well as areas for improvement. And this feedback should be based on the agreed success criteria. And finally, effective questioning, which is about asking questions in a way that provides you with key information that you can use to determine where the learning currently is, expand the learning, and plan for future learning. And it's also about encouraging more pupil questioning. So in this session, we are going to focus on some of these elements. And we're going to begin with learning intentions and success criteria. Now, we're all familiar with learning intentions. We call them learning intentions, objectives, aims. No matter how we call them, they are the same thing. A learning intention is simply a description of what you want the pupils to learn, to know, to understand, or to be able to do by the end of a lesson. Learning intentions spell out what pupils learn and why. And success criteria show pupils how to recognize success. That is, success criteria let pupils know if they have achieved the learning intention. They summarize the main teaching points or processes that link directly to the learning intention. So let's have a look at some examples. For example, we have these learning intentions. Begin to use context to understand key vocabulary. This would be the learning intentions. That is, what the students are going to learn or to understand. The success criteria is understand the meaning of adjectives used to describe people using a context. Another one, for example, listen to and understand a personal description. That is the learning intention. Now, the success criteria is describe themselves with reasonable accuracy using a variety of adjectives. Now, to give students the tools they need to take more responsibility for their own learning and achieve greater learning independence, we need to tell them a few things. What they are going to learn, why they should learn it in the first place, and how they recognize when they have succeeded. Now, research shows that students who regularly receive this information in the classroom are more focused for longer periods of time, more motivated, and better able to take responsibility for their own learning. So, sharing and sometimes negotiating the learning intentions and the reasons for learning with pupils at the beginning of the activity are usually very productive things to do. We also need to present the learning intention in language that students can understand. And revisit the learning intention throughout the activity or the lesson. Now, here are 4 steps that you can follow to framing and delivering learning intentions. It's important that we are clear and specific about learning intentions and why these are important things to learn. Also, break down learning intentions and translate them into meaningful and manageable language. Many times in most course books, we have the learning intentions and the success criteria in the teacher's book. But quite frequently, these are expressed in language that the students don't necessarily understand because they are written for the teachers, not for the students. So we need to break these down into smaller, manageable learning intentions, perhaps, and in student-friendly language. Also, introduce and share the learning intentions appropriately at the beginning of the lesson so that students know what they are going to do and why they are going to do it. And structure the lessons so that pupils can focus on and revisit the learning intention through approaches such as, for example, questioning, peer and self-assessment, written and oral feedback, and plenary sessions. Now, establishing success criteria now is quite important, and it's an important element of assessment for learning. Why? It improves pupils' understanding by keeping them informed about how they will be assessed. This, in turn, helps them improve their understanding by keeping them informed about their performance. It empowers them because it involves them in performance and learning. In time, pupils who have experience of working with success criteria and contributing to the development are more likely to take an independent approach to learning because they understand how the criteria apply to their learning. They can then use the criteria to assess their own achievements, address their own concerns, and identify areas for improvement. Success criteria also allow you and your pupils to give accurate feedback. They keep you and your students focused on the criteria that the work will be assessed against. And also, success criteria lets pupils know if they have achieved the learning intention. They summarize the main teaching points and they link this to the learning intention. So, to sum up, effective success criteria are linked to the learning intention, are specific to an activity, are concrete and measurable. They should be discussed and agreed with pupils before undertaking the activity. They should also provide a scaffold and focus for pupils while they are engaged in the activity. They should be used as the basis for feedback and peer and self-assessment. And finally, they should be also learner-friendly. They should be written in language that students can understand. So, quality success criteria are closely linked to the learning intention. Forgive me if I repeat this, but sometimes we forget this. They are specific to the activity the students are engaged in, and they will vary with each activity, even if the activities share a common learning intention. They are agreed with the pupils in advance, and this discussion aspect is particularly important in the classroom because it helps foster a positive environment. It involves pupils in the learning and upcoming activity even before it's begun. Discussion also helps build pupil self-esteem by offering them opportunities to contribute. It's useful, that is, they are useful tools to strengthen the teacher-student relationship. They also encourage responsibility and independence by scaffolding the assessment, be it the peer assessment or the self-assessment. And of course, you can revisit the success criteria and use them to give your pupils feedback on their learning or encourage them to give each other feedback. Now, despite building learning intentions and success criteria into our planning, we rarely share these with our students. But at the same time, we want our students to be self-motivated and have a sense of purpose. So remember, these two elements are important because if learners don't know what they are expected to learn and how to recognize their own success, then we cannot promote peer or self-assessment, which are the two other elements of assessment for learning, as well as important life skills. And we're going to see this in the next video. So this is all for today. And here you have different ways of contacting me on my LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram. You can also watch more videos like these on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and subscribe to it in order to get updated information. And you can, if necessary, send an email to me asking more questions, and here you have my email address. So this is it for today. I hope you find these videos useful. See you in the next one. Bye.